in-garden storage bin, double tier compost bin thingy is working great. This stuff here was clumps of weed and kitchen waste, a month ago. Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and someone asked me recently to do an update on my composting system. I basically use storage containers and set up a composting in the middle of my garden. My garden's all fenced in, and I can't have compost anywhere but inside the garden because of bears and raccoons and all the sort of wilderness type things. I live in a pretty, the property's surrounded by wild forest. We have black bears and coyotes and wildcats and porcupines and raccoons and everything's in there. Anyway, so I came up with this system. I got it apart right now. I was taking it apart just to have a look, see how it's working, and I'm gonna put it all back together. I'm gonna work with it a little bit. I didn't come out here to shoot a video, so I'll put it all back together and show you how the thing works if you hadn't seen it from the start. But basically the idea is I got two fairly large, these are like 2 feet wide, totes. Okay, both of them have holes in the bottom, and both of them have holes drilled into the top lids so that water can get through. Right, so the water drips through the one on the top, goes into the one on the bottom, drips through the bottom, and it collects here, and I stick it on the plants. Right, so I get the compost tea with the compost. And I noticed this one here, I just put some stuff in it and it's just full of water. Right, so the water is not draining out of it, which is not what you want, because the stuff won't break down as quickly like that because it's anaerobic, there's no oxygen, right? So I got to figure that out. I don't know what's going on there, but it has been working. So I mean, we've been putting, the odd week my wife will stick the compost in the green bin because she just forgets to bring it out here. I also think she doesn't like putting stuff in this because it's kind of gross. But anyway, for the most part, we've been putting stuff in here all season long. I set this thing up, I think, in April. And here's the stuff in the bottom. I mean, this is cooked. I mean, this is basically ready to go compost, in my opinion. We got a couple, of course, eggshells take years to break down, but so like once a month, I would take what was in the top, dump it in the bottom, turn it around a little bit, and then start putting stuff on the top again. Not only have I been putting kitchen waste in there, but I've been putting just weeds from around the garden. I've always got weeds, right? So even a weedless garden has weeds. There's always weeds. So I'm throwing that in there. So now I got this good stuff. I'm going to shovel this out. I'm going to put some of this in here, and I'm going to figure out what's going on here. Well, it might just be that there isn't enough holes drilled into the bottom of this. Don't know. So let's get to work. I'm going to put the camera on I got one of these chest strap things. I'm going to put this thing on and just sort of have you with me while I'm working away here, and just talk up a storm while that's going on. And yeah, let's see what's going on with this one and why the water isn't draining out. It may be that I only put one hole in it. I was feeling around underneath. If that thing weighs a ton, I could only feel one hole, which is not enough. So I might need to put a couple more holes in it. Just maybe not draining out, or the hole gets plugged because a leaf sort of goes over it, or whatever, right? Who knows what the problem is. So let's get to work and see what's going on. All right, so step one, I'm gonna make sure I have this all on the camera here. Different sort of camera approach here. Step one is to get some of this nice stuff. I got a couple gardens where I'm not 100% happy with the results I'm getting. So I can throw a bit of this around the base of the plants, and hopefully it gives them a boost. I'm not going to take all of this out because, believe it or not, I think some of my viewers were concerned that things would be cooked in here, but I can't see any right now. But when I was digging around here earlier today, I actually saw worms in here. Whenever I make a compost video, people will say, you need red wigglers, blah, 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 blah. Any worm will do. That's just something people say to sell red wigglers. Here, look, there's an ordinary earthworm. It's alive, right? So, I'm sure it's getting hot in here, but the lids are yellow. So to some extent, you know, like, sure, these are black, but the very top is yellow. Look, there's another one. Nice. Huh. Nice, healthy worm, right? And he feels cold to the touch. She, he, they. I think worms are theys. So, anyway, there's some good old plastic, probably from cardboard I threw in there. That's nasty. Anyway, I don't want to take all this out. I'm going to take a lot of it out. I'm going to take it all out, but put some of it back in. Let's see what I do here. This is unnecessary. I'm only doing this today because I need some compost, and also because there's something wrong with that. I'm not quite sure what the problem is. Okay, so this is going to go onto my gardens. And this here, I'm going to empty this out, but I'm going to put that back in. I got a container here. Should be fine for that. There we go. Lots of nice things to trip on around the garden today. Anyway, let's I can do this little throw my back out. So on this one here, I got 3 holes here. They do seem a little bit plugged, I have to say. Yeah, I could use a little bit of a reaming. Let me get a little knife here. I'm just gonna ream them out a little bit. All right, so I got this little knife here. I'm just gonna work at this. A little bit of, you know, the way I drilled this out, some of the plastic just had the capacity to grab onto the fibrous material in the compost and sort of plugging it up. I mean, this one isn't really the problem. It's the other container that's not draining right. But I mean, since I got it apart, since I'm in the nasty business today, right? I'm in there doing all the super smelly, gross stuff, and it does smell. It smells like, well, it smells like a toilet. It kind of is, in all the ways that matter. Okay, so that's 3 holes. It's been draining just fine, so I don't think that one's our problem. Now, let me just look at this beautiful, I mean, they call it compost tea for a reason. Got that nice tea color. Anyway, I'm going to put some of this in with my got some zucchini here that really aren't, in my mind, they're not the size they should be. They're underperforming. I'm not sure why. So a little bit of compost tea never hurts. I've never had a problem with zucchini, so I don't know what's going on with those. Anyway, there's that. You can put this back. All right, now I'm going to start. How should we proceed here? I think I'm going to bail this out a little bit because it's got so much liquid in it. I don't know where I can put that. And with these tomato plants, I guess. Bail this out a little bit to get some of that weight. Get some of that weight gone, right? I'm going to put this in here. I thought doing this video with the chest cam would be useful, because I think some people, you know, I don't do a lot. I mean, I do videos where I'm working in the garden, but they're fairly, I guess they're not as candid as this. Here, I've pulled something apart, and I'm troubleshooting, and I'm learning. I'm basically playing, but I'm trying to figure out, you know, I'm going through the process of it, and I think it's a good kind of video to do. All right, so that's some really good fertilizer type stuff there. But now I think maybe I should use the fork for this. I got a fork over here somewhere. I should have this right next to the other container, but it is so heavy, and my back's been bugging me a bit lately, so I don't think it's the end of the world to have a little bit of these drippings. Throw that in there. Holy smokes. Pretty nasty, my man. Whew. Yeah, they can't break down. I mean, it would break down. This is like almost like, I guess, what you call bokashi. But I don't want that, right? I want compost. Okay, I think that might be manageable enough for me to pick up now. Let's see. Yeah. Let's just dump that all in there. I'm doing all this so I can see. Yeah, so all I had. Oh my God, that stinks. Oh God, it's enough to kill a man. That's nasty, man. Anyway, all I got is these 2 holes. And this one seems like it's got a bit of a plug going on here. Yeah, I only put 2 holes in that. It's probably not enough. So I'm going to put another one here. Come on, man. And try to get some of that grit out of the way. Not good for your drill bit for sure. Another one here. Maybe one more in the middle here. Maybe another one right here. You got to use the drill or it weakens the plastic like you wouldn't believe. There, that should drill. That should drain properly now. Okay, now I've got the, you can say this is the culture, right? This is the stuff that still has worms and different things in it. So I'll dump that in there. Right, hopefully that will get everything happening. I hope there's enough living things in there. Right, just get that all in together. Okay, so now that it's already draining. Yeah, you can hear it. Listen, you hear that? It's already draining, peeing into the catcher at the bottom. That's good. Right, now I can put this on top. Now I don't have that incredible weight up here, right? Because I don't want the heavy one on the top. I want the heavy one on the bottom. Right? Now I can put this here. Good. Now I got a little table. So you see how this has the holes in the top when it rains. This way, I mean, your compost has to stay moist to work. But if it's a soup, it slows it right down. It's just, you know, there's sort of like an ideal. Basically everything has to stay moist but not underwater. So now that'll all run off. I'll use this stuff around the garden today. I mean, I just put it on directly here, but normally what I like to do is fill a watering can half full and pour that into the watering can, have it diluted, and just sort of sprinkle it all over the place, right? But you know, I got a fairly big garden, so I mean, this garden is not running on compost tea. It's just too big for that, for this little system here. But it's a little bonus. Any beds where things just aren't looking the way I think they should, you know, I give it a shot. And hopefully that, you know, picks it up a little bit, gives it a little boost of nitrogen, etc., etc. Check that out. It's working just the way it's supposed to work. Now all that water's getting, now once that drains out, that is going to heat up and start to cook. I don't know if it's getting warm enough to kill the weed seeds, but I mean, this stuff here was clumps of weed and kitchen waste, you know, a month ago. So it's breaking down. I've never done hot composting here. This here system seemed to work just fine. I'm playing with an idea in the winter of putting a little clear plastic teepee over that to maybe help it continue to work during the winter, you know, create a little greenhouse type effect, you know, inside it, just over the compost bin. It's an idea I'm playing with. I guess this little cherry tree is kind of in the wrong place for that. For that matter, I don't think that cherry tree is doing much good there anyway, so maybe it should be moved. Anyway, for those of you that were curious, the compost, the in-garden storage bin, double tier compost bin thingy is working great. I think the only problem I had there is I hadn't drilled enough holes in the top bin so they got sort of plugged up and compromised. But now I've gone from 2 holes to about 5. Should have no problem draining from here into here, and you know, should just continue to work, and I can keep feeding it. This has been great. I mean, this is the first year I bought this house. I set up compost bins like I had before, and they would just constantly get broken into, wrecked, tipped over, torn apart, you know, that sort of thing. And so I just gave up on it. And then I got the idea this year of having compost right in the center of my garden. Of course, only using vegetable stuff, no meat or anything like that. It really doesn't have a smell. The only part of this that smells is that nasty stuff coming out the bottom. So whenever this thing's full, you can smell it if you leave it sitting around. So as long as you can get this water, you know, as long as this drain, that was the other thing I noticed, it was smelling kind of bad, right? Because when you get all that nasty water. If you can get the water out and take that tea and just distribute it throughout the garden, it really doesn't have a smell. And it seems to work just great. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Hey folks, guess what? I've started a newsletter at maritimegardening.substack.com. I'll be putting out 1 article a week. That's 52 articles a year. The articles expand on ideas that I mention on my videos and podcasts, and every article has a read aloud option, so you can just listen to me read it if you're busy doing something else. You can subscribe for $30 a year or try it for $5 a month and see what you think. It's a great way to help support everything I'm doing here. But hey, there's also free content too, so if you just want to read the free stuff, that's fine too. As always, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.